I once told a taxi driver, "Take me to the station." He drove me to a petrol station, not the train station. That's when I realized communication isn't just about speaking, it's about clarity. Every person wants others to listen to them carefully, to understand them, and to respect them. But this only happens when you know how to speak in the right way. Communication is a power that makes your words impactful and gives shine to your personality. It is a skill that can transform your relationships, your career, and your confidence. But when this skill is weak, even an intelligent person is often misunderstood. People cut you off, ignore you, or make fun of you. You may have knowledge, but no one listens. You may speak, but no one feels it. And that is the biggest defeat of communication. In this video, you will get a clear and practical solution to learn how to reach people's hearts with your words, how to speak with confidence instead of fear, and how to make communication your greatest strength, the power of listening. The first step of communication is not speaking, it is listening. The book Mastering Communication Skills teaches us that if you want to connect with people, you must first listen to their voice and understand what is in their heart. Listening is not a small skill. It is the foundation of emotional connection. When someone is listened to with full attention, they don't just feel understood, they feel important. Most people think the best communicator is the one who talks the most. But the truth is the opposite. The best communicator is the one who listens the best. When you listen, you don't just catch words. You catch emotions, insecurities, expectations, and feelings. That understanding makes any conversation meaningful. And once you learn to listen, you can enter the hearts of people who have never felt truly understood before. What happens if we don't learn this skill? When we don't take people seriously, they start to think we are superficial. They feel we don't care. Slowly, they distance themselves, whether it's friends, colleagues, or customers. Imagine someone keeps interrupting you, stays busy on their phone, or doesn't respond to your words. How would you feel? This is what happens when we wait for our turn to speak instead of truly listening. The book says, a person who cannot listen can never grow because they live only in their own world. Example, Abdul Rahman. Abdul Rahman was a smart college student, intelligent in studies, quick in conversations. In every group discussion, he wanted to be the first to speak. He believed the one who talks most is the best communicator. But gradually, his friends began avoiding him. Nobody took his words seriously. He thought they were jealous, but the truth was they were tired because Abdul Rahman never listened. One day, his professor told him, Abdul Rahman, you want to answer every question, but you never understand why the question is asked. You talk too much, but you don't listen. That is your biggest weakness. From that day, Abdul Rahman began to change. And when he started listening, for the first time, people actually began to feel his words. How to improve listening? Active listening. Nod your head. Show expressions that you are engaged. Don't interrupt, even if you know the answer. Let the other person finish. Ask questions like, do you mean this? It gives you clarity and gives them comfort. Give reflection, not reaction. Think before answering. Keep your phone aside. Full attention is the biggest sign of listening. Make it a habit to listen carefully to at least one person every day. The book says, a person who learns to listen also learns to speak better, because one who understands others chooses the words that touch hearts. Clarity in communication. Communication is not just about speaking. It is the art of making people understand. And for that, the most important thing is clarity. Clarity creates confidence. Clear communication immediately earns respect. The book Mastering Communication Skills says, the strength of speaking doesn't lie in fancy words, but in simplicity and clarity. Today, when everyone is in a hurry to speak fast, the one who speaks slowly but clearly is seen as more trustworthy. Clear communication does not mean using big words. It means nothing should be lost in between your message. What happens if we are unclear? It creates confusion. People interpret your meaning on their own, often wrongly. Your seriousness is lost, people start ignoring you. You need to repeat yourself again and again. The book explains, one who is not clear can never make others confident. Example, Dexter. Dexter, a young entrepreneur, had to pitch his startup to investors. He was excited and passionate. But during the presentation, He used too many technical terms and spoke in a roundabout way. The investors got confused. No one asked questions. The meeting ended cold. Later, his mentor told him, "Your idea is good, but your communication is weak. You never made them feel the strength of your idea." Dexter realized communication doesn't mean just talking, but speaking so clearly that the listener understands and believes. How to improve clarity. Speak one point at a time. Don't mix two ideas in one sentence. Use short, simple words. The simpler the words, the deeper they reach. Always give examples. People connect better when they see themselves in your words. Slow down so the listener can absorb. Rehearse important conversations in front of a mirror. After speaking, ask, "Did I explain it properly?" Clear communication earns respect because when you speak simply, the listener doesn't just hear your words, they respect your thoughts. Body language. Communication is not only with words. Your body also speaks. Before your mouth says anything, your posture, eyes, and gestures speak volumes. Sometimes you must have seen someone says something, but their eyes say something else, or someone doesn't speak at all, yet you take them seriously. That is the power of body language. Why is body language important? First impressions are not built only on words. They are built on posture, gestures, eye contact, and facial expressions. Confident body language makes people trust you more. You look naturally influential and stand out in a crowd. What happens if we ignore body language? If your words say one thing but your body says another, people get confused. They don't trust you. Examples. If you avoid eye contact, people think you are lying. If you stand slouched, they think you lack confidence. If your face looks tense, people avoid you. The book says, your body speaks before your mouth, and it never lies. Example, Angela. Angela was a talented presenter, an expert in her field. But in every seminar, people looked uninterested. She thought maybe they didn't understand her. One day her mentor showed her a recording. Her eyes kept wandering, her body was slouched, and her hands were moving nervously. Her mentor said, "Your words are good, but your body doesn't support them." From then, Angela worked on her posture, eye contact, and gestures. Slowly, people started connecting with her, understanding her, and respecting her. How to improve body language. Stand straight, chest open, head high. Maintain eye contact without staring. Use gestures naturally to explain points, but don't overdo it. Keep your expression soft. A slight smile relaxes the listener. Make an impactful entry. Your presence speaks before your words. Practice in front of a mirror. Give yourself feedback. The book says, your body is always communicating. If you want trust in your words, begin with confident body language, voice and tone. Words alone don't create impact, your voice and tone do. Two people can say the same words, but the effect will be completely different depending on how they are spoken. Tone decides whether your words sound like advice or insult. Example, if you say, "Why did you do this?" With concern, it feels like care. With anger, it feels like blame. That is the power of tone. What happens if we don't pay attention to tone? People misunderstand us. They may see us as rude or arrogant. Even when we mean well, it may sound like an insult. Our words lack emotion, so people don't connect. The most common failure in communication is people say something, but the listener feels something else. Example, Michael. Michael, a coaching teacher, was an expert in his subject, but students thought he was arrogant, always shouting and disrespectful. When he listened to his own recordings, he realized his words were fine, but his tone was too harsh and commanding. There was authority, but no warmth. He started working on his tone, added softness, lowered his volume, and paused more. Within weeks, students began respecting him and responding positively. How to improve voice and tone. Practice in the mirror for 5 minutes daily. Record your voice. Listen to yourself. The most honest feedback. Learn to pause. Don't rush everything in one breath. Pauses give power. Control volume and speed. Speaking fast doesn't give power. Thoughtful words do. Add warmth and respect to your tone. Before any discussion, take 3 deep breaths. It calms your voice. The book explains, your voice doesn't just deliver information, it delivers emotion. A good communicator isn't one who talks fast, but one who speaks with the right emotion. Communication under pressure. The real test of communication is not in easy times. It is when situations are tough. When you're blamed, questioned, or angry, that's when true communication shows. The book says, true leadership is measured when everything is falling apart, yet you remain calm and communicate wisely. In tense moments, one clear sentence can handle a crisis. What happens if we fail under pressure? In anger or fear, we stop listening. We become defensive. Our tone gets harsh, words become bitter, and situations worsen. Example, Ahmed. Ahmed, a young marketing manager, once had his campaign rejected in a big meeting. His senior said in front of everyone, "This work is unacceptable." All eyes were on Ahmed. His throat went dry, his face red. He wanted to react, but he paused, took a deep breath, and calmly said, "Sir, I think I misunderstood your expectations. Can I meet you this afternoon for 10 minutes to present a revised approach?" The room went silent. The next day, when he presented calmly, the same senior praised him. Ahmed realized, you don't always need the perfect answer. You need the right response at the right time. How to communicate under pressure. Pause. Don't react immediately. Wait 3 seconds before speaking. Breathe. One deep breath can change your entire response. Keep calmness in tone. Loud volume doesn't add strength. Focus on resolution, not revenge. Maintain steady body language. Controlled hands, focused eyes. Begin with a soft line. "I understand your concern." It opens the listener. The book says, in pressure, communication should not be a reaction. It should be a strength. The Art of Persuasion. Persuasion is not manipulation, nor is it pressure. It is the art of making others agree without force, by understanding their needs and feelings. A good communicator doesn't dominate. They give people the strength to say yes. Why persuasion matters. Every day we are convincing someone, a client, a friend, even a stranger. Without persuasion, people may ignore us or find us pushy. With persuasion, they see us as leaders, guides, and trustworthy. Example, Arshad. Arshad worked in an NGO, raising donations for poor children's education. At first, he begged emotionally, "Please help, children are starving." But 90% said no. His mentor advised, "Don't make people feel guilty. Show them how their money brings real change." So Arshad changed his strategy. He showed stats, shared stories. Your support can educate a child who tomorrow might work in your company. Now people couldn't say no. They even recommended him to others. Arshad learned persuasion means making people feel they are choosing the decision themselves while your words touch their hearts. How to learn persuasion. Understand the other person's need first. Talk benefits, not just features. Use stories. They touch more than logic. Don't pressurize. Give presence and space. Make yes easy. Show low risk, easy choice. Ask questions. Don't give orders. Example, if this improves your strategy by 10%, would you like to explore it? The book explains, persuasion doesn't come from power, it comes from understanding. Fear of speaking. The book highlights one hidden but dangerous enemy of communication, the fear of speaking. This silent fear kills our voice, our confidence, and even our identity. The biggest barrier in communication is not language, it is fear. Fear comes from fear of being judged. What will people think? Fear of failure. What if I stutter? Fear of rejection. Will anyone even listen? What happens if fear remains? You stay silent despite having ideas. You miss opportunities. People underestimate you. Worst of all, you lose self-respect. Example, Mohsin. Mohsin was a brilliant graphic designer. His work spoke for itself, but he never did. In meetings, he stayed silent. His ideas were stolen by others, and they got credit. One day he realized he was losing, not because of lack of ideas, but because of lack of courage to speak. He began writing his fears down, took small steps, saying one line, asking one question, nodding confidently. Within weeks, his fear turned into voice. Today, Mohsin is a team leader. How to overcome speaking fear. Write your fears. Clarity is the first cure. Take small steps. One line a day is enough. Change self-talk. Remind yourself, my voice matters. My words have value. Befriend silence. Pausing isn't weakness, it's maturity. Practice in safe spaces, with friends, mirror, or at home. Before speaking, take 3 deep breaths and say, I am here not just to speak, but to connect. The book says, fear ends only when you start speaking. Your voice may be the answer someone needs, but first you must value it yourself. Conclusion. Every person knows how to speak, but very few know how to listen, understand, and create impact. In this video, you learn that communication is not just a game of words. It starts with listening, grows with clarity, influences with body language, connects with tone and voice, stays strong under pressure, persuades without force, and conquers the fear of speaking. If you apply these, you won't just become a good communicator. You'll become someone who truly touches hearts. If you found this video valuable, give it a like, share it with friends, and subscribe for more inspiring content. Your one click is the biggest appreciation for our effort.